We live? No, starting? Start. Okay, we're live. We are live. What is up, Watch fam? I am Christian from Theo and Harris. It is Thursday. So on Thursdays, we do live ASKTNH, which is a lot like regular ASKTNH, but that's less coherent. So let's get into it. I have a couple of topics to talk about today. I'm going to talk watch straps. We're going to talk ETA movements and Michael Kors, little Piaget, and that's it. I have a little notepad with things to keep me on point, but obviously not too many notes. About like 20 words. Anna, my sister Anna says mention me. What's up, Anna? Thank you for watching. Where is Testes? That's funny. Mr. Testes. That's from San Fermin. If you guys don't know Mr. Testes, he is the mascot for San Fermin in Pamplona. Top 3 vintage watches under 300. I think you ask me this question all the time. Frank, what is up, Frank? Where's Early? You ask me those questions all the time. I don't have them right now or ever. It's tough. Vintage is very, very tough for under $300. You gotta get very, very lucky. You guys should all follow Frank D. I Soldi on Instagram. He is a friend of mine. He is a TNH fan. He's got a gold date just, which is absolutely to fucking die for. And he's a real estate agent in New Jersey. He sells some of the best houses in New Jersey. So they're really awesome. What else is going on? Why don't you stock JLCs? I do stock JLCs occasionally, just not all that often. I think I don't want to abuse it. I don't want to take, I don't want to ruin a good thing. I have a good thing going with JLC, I list them here and there. By the way, go Jaspers. I list them here and there, and that's it. When I list them, they sell. Done. Boom. Gone. I like to list top notch examples. I'm not gonna, dig to the bottom of the barrel. And for it's hard. A lot of examples have been abused, and I don't want to mess around with redials and stuff like that. So the fewer I list, the better they can be. So that's kind of the philosophy behind my listing of JLCs. Wristwatch check. I'm wearing a vintage Cartier, Santos Dumont. Very pretty. Instagram gets it first. And then, let's see, autofocus is killing it. I got a new camera for this. Wow, that looks really pretty. I got a new camera for this because we're going to keep doing it every week. So I got a new camera. So we invested a little bit in this whole live thing. I also moved where I'm sitting, got better light. We're improving. Live ASKTNH is improving. So that's it. Let's get into some topics I want to talk about. ETA movements. How about ETA movements? I like ETA movements a lot. Let's start off with my understanding, my opinion, that we all need to be very self-aware in what we understand and what we value. And then this is not go to say that you can't value a Patek if you can't completely understand a Patek, because there are certain things you don't have to understand a Longa completely to value it. You can kind of understand 10% and just look at it and think it's an aesthetic masterpiece on the movement side, with the German steel and German silver. I mean, and the hand engraved balance cock. That's fine, but it's a lot of money. And I think that what ETA does very well is they give you, right, obviously for a pretty damn good price, it's a Swiss movement, and what they're giving you that's incredible is the opportunity to have a mechanical movement that you can have the same emotional attachment to, that my body moves this, and someday my son's body will move this, and that's great, without all of the cost, and yes, we'll probably put a closed case back on most ETA movements because they're not that interesting, but I think that the average consumer, the person who wants a mechanical watch, the person that does not know the difference, between three-quarter plating and between Côte de Genève and perlage. I mean, it doesn't really, matter to a lot of people. To me, for those people, the mass market, ETA is a wonderful, wonderful company. It produces wonderful, wonderful movements. To give an example, I think, and it's not just ETA, I'm talking about any mass production movement. I think that brands like Resins, who have become, they're extremely friendly to Theo and Harris. They're good friends of Theo and Harris now. I think that Resins, for example, Habering, for another one, they do a wonderful job building very interesting and complex watches off of very simple, base calibers. I think Habering is an ETA as well. And if it's not an ETA, then most of them still have a easy base caliber. I believe it is ETA though. So that to me is so interesting. It gives them an affordable canvas to then build on. Resins isn't very affordable. They're very expensive watches, but it would be even more astronomically expensive to own a resins if they used in-house calibers. It wouldn't make any sense. Further, in my dialogue with resins, and if you guys don't know what resins is, please check them out. In my dialogue with resins, they've made it very clear that to them, serviceability is a huge point. They don't want to sell watches that they can't get fixed, and they know that the ETA base and all these movements, it's wonderful. It's very reliable. It's very serviceable, and they're never going to have massive problems down the road. I certainly would never get hung up. If I was considering buying a resins, I would never get hung up on resins, not having an in-house caliber. Not the point. I think that resins is a brilliant company with a brilliant perspective on movement making and watchmaking, and that is what's so interesting. Miguel, now let's do a little bit of dialogue with you guys. Miguel, hello from Chicago. What is up, buddy? Miguel bought this watch today, a blue Rolex 1601 Buckley. Instagram gets it first, and then YouTube gets it. Check that out, YouTube. Autofocus. Come on. Sorry, YouTube. It's not the computer is not the camera is not allowing me to autofocus. There you go. There you go. We did it. Boom, boom, boom. Beautiful watch. If you guys do not know why the Buckley dial got its name, it's from a very good friend of mine, John Buckley, on 47th Street in Manhattan. He invented them. He's the first one to ever paint a Buckley dial. No, John just had a passion for Buckley dials. Kind of gave them credit when they were not hot at all, when nobody cared about them, and now people do care because they are beautiful watches. I think that the indigo blue dial here is just magnificent. So come on, Instagram, let's check that out. I mean, come on, it's a beautiful thing. All right, good question, Kieran. What do we got here? Christian, would you ever consider making your own watch brand, like via Kickstarter, etc.? Yes, and I think that more and more every day I'm becoming a little bit more familiar with how I would do it. There is a very impractical way I would go about it, and there's a very practical way I would go about it. And I'm not going to tell you guys what it is, either. But you guys will find out eventually if I do either of them, and I think I will do both at some point in time. But right now, we're just in the exploration phase. There are no plans. I have put no payments in. There are no blueprints or documents. This is just all in my head, like everything else. Tuscany Rose John, yes. Centene Crackers, Tuscany Rose John. 50mm watches, nah. I just can't. I mean, my Uncle Richard has a really big wrist, and he wears a 48mm Breitling and all 47mm Breitling, and all jokes aside, it looks small, which is crazy. He's got a big motherfucking wrist. Holy shit. But as a whole, 50mm, it's ridiculous. I mean, even Sylvester Stallone is just not good. Watch me now. What's up, Christian? What's going on? Watch me now. Do I hate you, Blow? No, I don't hate you, Blow. Dad's watching. Guys, my dad, Rolando Zerone, is now watching our live feed. So I can officially say I'm a success because Dad's watching. Dad has a Vespa, and he scooters around in the spring, summer, and fall, because why not, right? We're gonna have to do it in the metal. We're gonna have to do it in the metal with us in the Vespa. Be a ton of fun. Hi, Christian. Any possibility of getting a vintage Hoyer in? Not often, no. I don't really deal in vintage Hoyer, but by special request, I absolutely can. Special request is great. I have no problem with that. I just don't talk about I don't talk about Hoyer enough for me to be confident in my ability to sell them. I think that everything that we sell, we are very, very talkative about and passionate about, and thus when they're listed, they're sold because people are very familiar with my passion and they tap into that. But with Hoyer, I have not gone there yet. So special request, I would do it, but nothing yet as far as mass inventory. Keep doing what you do, Christian. Thank you, B. Harmon. You're the man. Best way to clean a vintage piece, specifically something not very water friendly. I don't know what you mean by clean. Servicing is the best. Servicing is the best way to clean a vintage watch, but with a professional. Howdy from Arizona. Your videos are the best. Thank you, Arizona. Howdy from New Jersey. Your viewership is the best. Better value, Saxonia or the 1815 pre-owned? I don't know. I don't know. Ask my dad. My dad had an 1815 in pink. Awesome watch. It was just an amazing, amazing watch. I mean, all jokes aside, I don't know what the Saxonia sell for though. But you have to be very careful with servicing. I mean, Langas are very, very expensive, to service. So you have to watch out. If you're going to buy a Langa, secondhand market, you have to buy it from someone who you trust very, very much, because you can get I don't want to say, in the dirty way it can happen to you, but you can get really screwed. You can get really, really screwed. It's a couple $1,000s. So it's coffee or wine. Oh, this is wine. Oh, this is wine. Can you tell by my purple teeth? I'm drinking wine out of a coffee mug because that's kind of just how I am now. Rolly. Rolly is Rolando Zerone. Engrain is my buddy John. And like I told you, Frank D'Isoldi is my great friend Frank. These are three really terrific guys. Guys I definitely look up to, no doubt. Not John so much. What's up, John? What brands offer different size straps? Small wrists over here. Get custom straps. That's always the best. Do you mean like leather straps? Leather straps, go custom. Go custom, go Jean Rousseau. They make some of the best straps in the world. I'm great friends with them. They don't pay us, so don't we're not in a plug thing. So they're wonderful. They're really, really wonderful. What's the most you would spend on a watch? That is all very, very relative. If I made a lot of fucking money, I'd spend a lot of fucking money on watches. But it's very, very relative. What's the best tutor in your opinion? I don't know. That's really hard. I'm not even going to go there. I love many very, very different tutors. I'm a bigger, 36 millimeter, 38 millimeter dress piece, or 34, 36, 38 dress. I'm not really into subs all that much. They just don't fit my lifestyle. So, but that's kind of my best answer. I'm dying, Engrain. I didn't see what he said yet. John, let's DM and set up a date. You guys are the best. Would you recommend a Glass Hute original over an Elanga? I do constantly. My dad wants to get an 1815 in white, and I keep telling him to buy a Glass Hute original, but he's really, really dedicated to the Langa. But it really depends who you are, how much money you have to spend, and what you're looking for out of the watch and all that stuff. It totally depends. To me, if you're going to spend $14,000 on a Langa and money means something, money's not just like this irrelevant, whatever. I think you're better off going with the Glass Hute original. Not a 760 per se. I wouldn't do that. I would go with a Panomatic Lunar or a Panomatic Reserve, because you're talking about $8,000, $7,000. So it's a big difference between 7 and 15. So to me, that means a lot. What do I think about JLC Reversos? They're awesome. I love Reversos. I wish they fit my wrist better. They don't, but they're great watches. Yo, Christian, out of the VC Overseas PJ Polo or Blanc 150 Fathoms, which one would you choose? I would choose the Vacheron Constantin Overseas Ultra Thin in white gold. I would choose it in steel, but they don't make it in steel, which is ridiculous. But to me, Ultra Thin is the only way to go. It's just how my wrist is. I just could not wear a bulky piece. Blanc 150 Fathoms is awesome, though. I wouldn't even consider the Piaget. Great. Do a piece on the Reverso, please. I definitely will do a piece on the Reverso. I think I'm going to do more love letters on TNH. It's going to be like a new thing. I did one for next week, love letter to Cartier. And I don't write anything, but I think that I think it's very cool to bring you guys content where I'm not so much making an argument, but being very passionate and only passionate. And you guys are going to, I think you're going to love it. I think you're going to love the love letter to Cartier, but let me know when it comes out. Hi, Christian. Love your content. What first watch would you recommend for someone that is just starting to collect vintage watches? I want something that is versatile that I can wear often. That is a very, dependent on your budget and your style. So you tell me that and I'll help you out. You still drinking eggnog? I love eggnog, and I wouldn't put it past myself to buy a bottle of eggnog next week or this weekend. I wouldn't put it past myself. Who saw my first appearance on In the Metal? That's my sister. Guys, I have the funniest sister. I have the funniest sister. I don't want to say in the world because, it's arbitrary. But my sister is hysterical. She was in the Metal this week on Tuesday, and it was a great episode. We were at my cousin Joe's house, and we did what did we do? play video games. He has a huge video game collection. Like the same way we collect watches, he collects video games. So it was really, really cool. But we had an awesome time. Get out the moose glass. That's true. So my buddy Frank, for Christmas, he gave me these like National Lampoon's moose, like you hold it by the horn, eggnog cups. And I was just walking around for months. They're still in my house because I didn't put them away. My mom was like, "Oh, put them away with the Christmas decorations. You bring them out in the fall again." And I was like, "No. What if I want eggnog in July? Like it just happens. I just want eggnog. I start itching and I look for eggnog." But Miguel says hi. Miguel's a very cool dude. Say hi back. LOL, John. Definitely funniest sister in the world. What brand are your glasses? These are from Warby Parker. $100, $95, I think. Terrific value. They're awesome. What are your views on vintage Stoa? I don't know much about vintage Stoa, but that's a great question. I have to learn more about them. Love letters on scented notes. Maybe. Just call me Sandra D. You the man. Thank you. Thoughts on New Hamilton? There's some great watches, no doubt. My dad says we need more cowbell. That is for fucking sure. Opinion on Federico leaving to Miami. Federico's a great dude. He's a very, very good dude. He's been very nice to me. We don't hang out all that often. When he was in New York, we recorded together with TGV. And he's a very, very nice guy. I wish him the best in Miami. He just joined the team over at What You Want. And I hope that he delivers on his promises to them, and I hope that they deliver on their promises to him. And if those two things happen, he's going to have a very, very happy next couple of years, and that makes me very happy. So good for Federico. Who cares about Federico? No, he's a good guy. Would you own a watch worn at war? Yes. I wouldn't wear a Nazi's watch, though. I would have a problem with that. I just don't want to wear a Nazi's watch, It's just not my style. I don't know, something about Nazis I'm just not really that into. Good question, Ricardo. Is Richard Mille worth the price even if you're rich? You know what? I don't know. That's such a good question, and I get that question, every now and then, pretty often. And I don't know. I don't get the allure. I do not get the allure of Richard Mille at all. Please, if someone here has a Richard Mille or is passionate about Richard Mille, please comment. I'd love to have a conversation about this because I just don't get it. I've read about them and I've read about their history and their mechanics. I mean, every time I get into a conversation about Richard Mille with somebody, first of all, not enough likes are coming in on our Instagram video, so you guys better start liking this video. Otherwise, I'm going to hang up. Every time I talk about Richard Mille, in conversation with someone, a passionate person, they always answer, "Oh, well, the cases are made out of this and that, blah, 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 all of these, whatever, carbon fiber, all these, things." And my answer is always like, do you know how easy R&D is when you have an unlimited budget? Like, how easy it is to just make something when you have all of the fucking money? Like, that's not interesting to me. That's like a rich, kid that gets into real estate. Like, okay, so what? You got to buy a bunch of fucking real estate. Daddy gave you a couple $100 million. That's the easy part. You know what I mean? Building somewhere is easy. To me, it's the impressive part of leveraging banks. I was talking about this yesterday. If you're getting to leveraging banks and having to not collect money, but to rather reinvest it and be a bunch of money in debt on mortgages. That's interesting. And it's the same thing with Richard Mille. It's the same thing. What's up, Frank? No, I'm serious. And then it's the same thing with Richard Mille. When you have all the money in the world, it's easy to make anything out of anything. You know what I mean? So I like creating things out of very little. I love to hear zero to hero stories. Hero to hero, I mean, that doesn't mean anything to me. It just doesn't. Sorry. Best everyday piece for $2,000. Depends what your style is. What's your style? It's hard. $400 to spend or payment plan through TNH for under 1,000. Yeah, great question. I would, of course, I sound very biased. He has $400 to spend or a payment plan through TNH for under 1,000. I would go payment plan for under 1,000. And once again, it sounds, it's setting it up sounding like I'm looking for your money. But the reality is, I am a firm believer, especially in vintage or in anything, buy a better example of something, and that's actually it. Buy a better example of something, not as good example. I think that if you have $1,000 to spend, that is a terrific budget for a vintage Omega, and you'll have money left over. It's a terrific budget for a vintage Omega, but it's not a terrific budget for a Tudor. You know, it's just not. You're going to get a shitty Tudor at $1,000 most of the time, but you can get a great Omega. So to me, my philosophy is spend 1,000. Don't need to go up to 1,500. Spend 1,000 and get something that you're truly going to, you know, love and enjoy. Why is the Rolex 1601 your favorite Rolex? Is the next question I'm going to answer after this sip. For a bunch of reasons. One, it was my first watch. Two, I think it balances the line between casual and formal extremely well. Three, they are infinitely able to pair with straps and have a bunch of fun that way. Like really able. I mean, you can walk into a custom, you know, strap shop and pick out, I mean, literally anything to put on a variety of Datechests. Three, there are a variety of Datechests. Hundreds of different configurations. Smooth bezel, engine turn, fluted, that's just bezels. Then you go on to, you know, dials. You have silver, you have taupe, you have white, you have sunburst, you have like matte, you have black, you have white. Yeah, I mean, you have so many different configurations. There really is a flavor for everybody, you know. So that's why, in my opinion, you know, the Datejust fundamentally is so great. Of course, you move on. It's a Rolex. It's a vintage Rolex. That you know, phrase alone is just, you know, to me, incredibly cool. To say you own a vintage Rolex is just a cool thing. You know, it's not a status thing. It's just interesting, I think. What's the most impressive watch you've seen on a person? Hard. I think the most expensive watch that I like the most that I've ever seen was the Patek 5970. I loved it. I love a Patek 5970. It's an amazing watch. I love the way the white gold hands burn. I think it's beautiful. I love the configuration. You know, I think it's great. What's your opinion on complications beyond chronographs? Annual calendars are awesome. Moon phases are great. Triple calendars. I love complications. I love them. I don't wear them as much because I like kind of like dress watches and very simple dress watches. So it's tough. 50 fathoms or Submariner, tough. Depends who you are. At this point, I would go 50 fathoms, but unless it was a vintage sub. Modern, 50 fathoms. I'm going to go into straps now. Let's talk about straps, guys. Straps are obviously half of a watch. You know, it's how you strap them onto your wrist. But there are a couple different brands out there that, to me, are very interesting to talk about. One, Camille Fournier. Camille Fournier has incredible connections. Camille Fournier has incredible contracts with some very, very big companies. Patek Philippe, for one. They supposedly make amazing straps. I have one Camille Fournier strap, and it's great. But, and it's a big but, I hate the way they interact with consumers. I tried to be a Camille Fournier consumer. I wanted to be a Camille Fournier consumer. There is no question. I called them. I called them in France. I got a calling card, yada, yada, yada. All I wanted was a photo, a real photo, not a computer-generated photo of a strap. That was it. You know, I wanted to see what the color looked like. Not on a computer, like I said, in a generated program. I wanted to see what it really looked like, and they wouldn't give it to me. They just wouldn't do it. So I'm not going to spend $340 fucking on a crocodile strap that I've never seen before, and that the representation online is a you know, digital thing. It's not a real photo. I mean, it's just a, you know, it's like a, I don't know what you call it, but I don't want to say it's not a hologram. I keep saying it's not a hologram. It's just digital representation, and it's not accurate, in my opinion. Sure as shit, they're not accurate, because I eventually found someone who owned one, and I contacted them, and the color that shows up in real life is not the same thing that shows up on the computer, to no one's surprise. So to me, the consumer experience was awful, and I didn't buy from them. That same day that I went through this whole thing, I found Jean Rousseau. And Jean Rousseau is an amazing strap manufacturer. I mean, really, really, really top notch. They're French. They send all of their works smiths, you know, strap smiths, leather smiths, leather makers, to France to study for a couple of months. They do amazing work. Each, you know, strap maker makes, I think, a strap and a half a day. This is like real custom work, and the prices are, for reference, better than Hodinkee. Like, you're getting a strap that's infinitely better for a lower price, and it's just the truth. You know, I'm sure their cost to manufacture is high, just their margins are smaller. It's that simple. So I think that Jean Rousseau is an amazing strap. Does TNH sell NATO straps? No, we don't. No, we don't. Sorry. Is it worth it to spend extra money on a strap? No question. There's no question. The company is called Jean, Jean Rousseau, Rousseau. An amazing strap. Yes, it absolutely does. It absolutely is worth it to spend the money on a strap. 100%. This is a Jean Rousseau strap. I have other Jean Rousseau straps. They do incredible jobs. They do an incredible job. I mean, take a look at this Cartier again. They do an incredible job, and they really make, in my opinion, the watch just elevated. It totally takes the watch to the next level. And that's what I love, because when you're spending a lot of fucking money on a watch, you want it on the next level. What do you think about the Patek Philippe Aquanaut? Is the next question after my sip. I think the Patek Philippe Aquanaut is an amazing watch. I think that it represents incredible value. I think you can get, I know you can get a complicated Aquanaut, don't remember the reference, a complicated Aquanaut with travel time for under $30,000. And when you can get a Nautilus for 25, it's no comparison. Love the Nautilus, all due respect, but you can't compare the travel time Aquanaut to the Nautilus. In my opinion, the value is just so much more present in the Aquanaut. Not to mention, I think that the Aquanaut will survive in condition infinitely times better. It's infinitely better because it's got a rubber strap, which is extremely durable. The case is polished completely, almost. I'm sorry, it's brushed completely, almost, not polished. Nautiluses get beat up. It's just how it is. They're great watches. I love them, but they get beat up, and it's a reality you have to face. So to me, they represent great value. Thoughts on Bremont? Mom said you left your shoes in the kitchen. She just turned. Sorry, Mom. Yes, boom, you're the man. Yes, good for you. Spanish Rob, everyone follow Spanish Rob if you already don't. He worked at the Patek Tiffany Salon in Manhattan for a long time, and he is I don't want to say Patek expert. That's a very pretentious thing. He knows a lot about Patek Philippe, and you should follow him. What about IWC? Thinking about that as my first watch. It depends on the model completely. Thoughts on Bremont and their new announced releases? I'm not a big Bremont fan. Maybe at a really good price I would be, but I think they're very expensive, and I've never really seen that many in person. I think that their case construction is great. Bremont makes very nice cases, but that's where I find the value. Have you ever sold a vintage Patek Calatrava? Would you be able to get one for the shop? I have sold one vintage Patek Calatrava. One, and I could find one for the shop at any point, but that would be a special order. I would not just stock one for shits and giggles. I'm not confident enough that someone would buy it because it's a very specific thing, and I'd just be nervous. It's just too big of an investment. How long do you think DJs will stay in the $3,000 range? Great question. Not long. Maybe I don't know, but they're just going up. They're just climbing and climbing and climbing. It's unreal. Best watch you've personally handled? I don't know. Let me think about that. Let me think. Omega Speedmaster Reduce, thoughts? Great watch. Make sure you buy it from a reputable seller because they're very expensive to service. So be careful. Looking at getting a vintage Vacheron Constantin Calatrava. Yeah, great watch. Great watch. If you need help sourcing one, please let me know. It would be my pleasure to help you out. Seriously, those are like some of my favorite watches. Oh wait, I'm getting messages on my phone. Hold on, live feed. Oh, it's what? OT just texted me, watching you live, buddy. What's up, OT? Is the President bracelet essential for a date to you? No. I love the presidential bracelet and I love the date, but no, it's not. I mean, you can get a presidential bracelet, later. No question. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you want a presidential with a bracelet, buy the head only. Wait. Buy the bracelet when you have the money, but to not own the watch for an extra 1 year or 2 years, to me, it'd be out of control. It's just ridiculous. Guys, what does DJ stand for? It stands for Date Just. DJ stands for Date Just. Hey, you're the man. That's all. No, not a watch collector. You're the man. Not a watch collector is my buddy Matt. We met via Instagram, I think, YouTube, something like that. Snapchat. We met via Snapchat. Wonderful guy. I mean, really top-notch guy. Gorgeous collection of watches. Check him out on Instagram. Seriously. How often do you recommend servicing typical Omega you stock? Not often at all. I mean, when I sell an Omega, I tell people, if they ask, I say, you won't need attention for 5-8 years. I mean, you just don't need attention. We service these things. Can you find a birth year date just? Yes, I could. It's difficult. It takes time, but yes, I could. Your favorite Genta design watch? If he designed the Vacheron 222, it would be my favorite, but he didn't. So I'm becoming more and more in love with the Royal Oak by every week. Every week I become more and more into it, which is very sickening because I'm not going to buy one right now. So not that I'm not going to. That sounds like I'm choosing not to buy one. I can't afford to buy one. Is a more specific and less like indicative of the watch fam. I love that when you go to like meetups and everyone's talking like like they can afford the world. It's just very annoying. It's very pompous. I'm not getting a Royal Oak because I don't have $21,000 spent on a watch. So there you go. Thoughts on IWC in general, Portuguese. Some great watches, some very overpriced. It's very hard. Repping the Manhattan College mug. Yes, yes. I had a friend in high school who was going to Manhattan College and gave me this for Christmas before she went off. So this is my Jasper's Manhattan College mug. I did not go there, by the way. JT Hostler. That is a rock star guy. That is one of my dad's very best friends. Terrific guy. He just asked me if I like Timex. The answer is yes. I love Timex. And I think that some of their watches are just terrific. Favorite car and how does it relate to watches? Favorite car, modern or vintage? What's your favorite Cartier tank reference? The Tank Normal is an amazing watch. The Cartier Tank Normal in a white metal would just be a next level piece. What's your next? What's Rolly's Grail? Rolly's Grail is a Langenzoon 1815 in what metal? In white. Yeah, 1815 in white. That's his Grail. Favorite car? Well, we saw it. Yeah, I saw it. Would you get the Royal Oak quartz to get the design? Yes, I 100% would. 100%, no question. But I also would really love to get a Royal Oak with a salmon dial, and they didn't make those in quartz. So, have I added anything to my collection? No, I haven't. I mean, I'm always very tempted to add things to my collection, but at the end of the day, I'm building a business, and every dollar I take from it is if I'm getting a 12% return on something, right, for argument's sake, on a dollar, if I spend 1,000, I'm losing 120. That's how I look at my spending, and that's it. I have no problem going out to dinner or drinks. That's fine, but for me to buy watches right now would, I think, be a little bit irresponsible because it's my life right now. It's just my life. So that's it. Thoughts on Timex Camper or Mark I re-edition, only for like $80. I have to look at it. But probably $80. If it's a cool looking watch, I would go for it. Oh no, not wine in a box. I have had wine in a box, and there actually are a couple of wines in boxes that are very good. But no, right now I'm not drinking wine in a box. Kelly from Jean Rousseau is the greatest. What a ridiculous customer service. Thanks, Christian. Kelly from Jean Rousseau is absolutely amazing. One of my favorite people in New York. No question. Tell her I said that. Are you exclusively vintage, or would you buy a great value prop like Nomos? I would 100% buy a. I would 100% buy a modern watch. I'm not sure which one, but I absolutely would. Yeah, you're right. No, but a watch has tangible value versus going out for drinks and eating. Yes, you're right. But at the end of the day, I agree with you. I 100% agree. But I can't avoid the drinks and the eating I do. I don't do it excessively. I'm not going out to drinks whenever I want to. When we're going out for drinks, and that's when I go, and I don't complain because it's my pleasure, and that's why you work, to be able to have fun with your friends and your family. No question. But no, I mean, I'm not like drinking and eating and spending money on food and booze frivolously by any means. Opinion on the Oyster date versus the Date Just. I love 34 millimeter watches. I do. And I wouldn't recommend buying one for an investment because the market has not come around to them yet by any means. But to me, they represent great value for a buyer. It's a buyer's market for those watches. It's a buyer's market. What do you think about Movado? I love vintage Movado. Modern Movado has some okay watches, but a lot of bad shit. Oyster versus Jubilee. Jubilee. Explorer 2 Stormtrooper thoughts. I don't know what it is. Do you think TGB has too many Seikos? No, TGB has a great time with watches. That's all that matters. Thoughts on luxury quartz watches depends on the watch. FP Journe makes an amazing vintage. FP Journe makes an amazing quartz watch. Do you think Rolex prices will continue to go up? I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm afraid that I am not educated or smart enough to understand what Rolex is doing. I'm just not. I just don't know it. That's so funny. It's so odd. People. Never mind. I'm not even gonna go into it. I'm not even gonna go into it. Navitime versus Daytona. Daytona for sure. What's the best Rolex period? In my opinion, now, but what the question is? What is the best Rolex period? That question is broken up into two answers. One, what is the best like known Rolex? And in my opinion, that is the Rolex 1803 with an interesting dial and a presidential bracelet, maybe in white even. Maybe it even goes as far as white. What now? Really, what are the best Rolexes? That's an answer. That's a question I couldn't possibly answer for you. I mean, there are Submariners that are just, I mean, next level rare and beautiful. I'm not going there. What are your thoughts on the very rare Daytonas with mint dials or pink dials, etc.? You have to show me some photos. I mean, there are a lot of fakes out there. Have you ever been to a Tiffany's and they recognized you? Yes, you knew that. My dad must have told you that. JT, I walked into a Tiffany's, to Tiffany & Co. store a couple of months ago, and one of the gentlemen that was working there, who I now know, goes, Christian? And I was like, I'm sorry? I'm sorry, who are you? And we talked, and it's awesome. It was just super close with my family, and it was funny. I got to tell my sister, like, yo, I'm like very small community famous, like in watches, and she cracked up because she thinks I'm an idiot. How long does a watch have to be considered vintage? I think that a watch is considered vintage when it represents a different time period. That's it. That could be the 90s. That could be the early 2000s. It's it. What AP is the Holy Trinity? Not sure. History before the world. Why is AP? AP, you should really look up. You know who did an amazing article? Bexson. BEXSONN, I think, or BEXX. I don't know. Check it out. It's an amazing. They have an amazing article that's live that was purchased a long time ago. Holy shit, TGV. TGV. What's up, buddy? Believe it or not, I'm doing a live feed right now. So right now, I'm technically talking to you on YouTube Live. What's going on? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Let me give. I want to finish this live feed. Let me call you in like 10 minutes. Who are you with? All right. Well, guys, we have to be a little. Hold on. Who is this? Oh my God, Giancarlo. Oh my God, guys! So TGV just passed me off the phone to a gentleman named Giancarlo Roselli, and he's a super nice guy. I'm servicing his father's Omega and his uncle's vintage Hoyer. Right now, the Omega was shipped out today, and the Hoyer. No. I'm telling YouTube Live right now. So he has yeah, I'm telling YouTube Live right now. So I serviced an amazing black dial vintage Carrera, and these are amazing watches. I mean, like, just terrific, guys. I'll send you guys a photo via Instagram. I know I'm literally on YouTube Live right now. So that's it, guys. But I gotta go. I gotta answer some questions over here. But I will talk to you guys soon. All right. Adios. Ciao, bello. That is so funny. Such great people. Such great people. I'm gonna go off on a little bit of rant. I'm gonna stop answering questions. I'm gonna go off on a little bit of rant, and then I'm gonna close out here. What's up, Joey? I started off in this industry, in the watch industry, wanting to make my way to significance by collaboration with people. And by making friends, and by just everyone working together, and eventually I would get to a good standing point where people care about my company, and I made a difference in the mass market and in the core community. And I quickly realized that was an impossibility. Because naturally, people are self-interested, and I respect that completely. And it's just self-interested. And I didn't. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to bite his tongue and swallow his pride and just kiss ass. It's just not my style. I'd never learned how to do it, so I quickly realized, that I had to figure out a new fucking plan, because my idea of making friends with people and networking wasn't going to work, and that's it. So that's when I decided to kind of become like a hermit and go into a cave with a computer, and learn about watches alone, and to build a company alone with a small team of only 2 other people. And that was it, with no help from anyone else in this community. Not asking for reposts, not asking for shout outs, none of that. And to a large point, that's my fault. I could probably have more followers right now if I did that, but I like the way I did it. But my ultimate point here is, eventually I stumbled upon some amazing, amazing people that were absolutely worth knowing. People that were not self-interested, people who were interested in, collaborating and having friends and talking about watches and being passionate. I'm talking about TGV, particularly in Federico right now. These 2 guys who had much larger followings than I, who had really nothing to gain by doing a video with me. They had nothing to gain really at the time. They did anyway. And that's interesting to me. That to me is the ultimate act of just manhood and just humbleness. And I think, long-term play, big picture play. But that's it, guys. I want to give a big shout out to TGV and Federico. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching Ask TNH live on this Thursday night. I am drinking a little bit of wine in a jar. And that's it. How about one more question? I think one more question. All right, YouTube, I'm signing off. YouTube, follow me on Instagram at theoandharris.com, and you can watch the rest of this. But right now, I'm going straight to Instagram. See you soon, YouTube Watch Geeks.